G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. This time though, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Yeah, let's see how this works. Right, okay, so we're now set up in my dining room, a corner of which is the family computer, which is a ludicrously expensive gaming computer that I never really get the opportunity to go on, because it's normally covered in children, but I'm going to give it a go. Why, Nat? Why you being weird? I've been slightly overwhelmed by suggestions on what bike I should go for next, and rather than, well, I make a point of replying to every comment that I get, well, every comment I can reply to. Those offering me website links to porn sites or, you know, sexual favours, I don't tend to reply to because I can't really reply to them, no matter how many times you send them, Charlie. They're really difficult to reply to, but I try and reply to everything because it's conversation. It's kind of why I do this. But for one, it would take me forever to reply to all of the numerous replies, numerous comments to the last upload, which I'm incredibly grateful for. So what I might do is put like a stock reply to, and what I really want to do is try and address them in this video. Now, in this video, in this upload. Now, to give it context, I'm not a bike wanker. I don't have an encyclopedic memory of bikes, their makes, their numbers. I really struggle with the bike conversation of, oh, the SL blah 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 is so much better than it's got an extra 6 horsepower. That's not what intrigues me about bikes. It's kind of more the mechanics than anything else, how they work and why they're good, and the fact that one bike could be fantastic for one person and horrendous for another. I didn't grow up in my teenage years with pictures of bikes on the wall. I had one automotive poster, which was a Lamborghini Diablo when they were really flat and really angular. And that was really it. My poster walls were reserved for amazingly attractive women that I would never meet throughout the next 30 odd years. But hey, so I thought what I'd do is just plough through. It's probably not going to be the most interesting thing in the world, but it's an insight into my brain, so it's going to be weird one way or another. Is plough through the comments and look up what your suggestions are and see whether or not they're okay. Okay, so that'll be an ugly edit. That's what I get for filming indoors. There's just lots of distractions in a big household. What I'll be doing is, for those that haven't seen it, you get the YouTube Studio app, which if you have a channel is basically your Bible, and it's got all sorts of analytics and blah blah blah. But it gets all your comments, and you know, I'm not sure if it'll focus, but I'm on 25 comments that I haven't read yet, or that I haven't interacted with, that are the ones I'm going to go through. So we'll kick off. I'm not going to show you the screen because it will struggle to focus, and when I get to a range you can focus, you won't see it. But first comment was the motorcycle rescuer. Well done, Charlie, good lad. Comment on there saying, I think the Enfield will be too slow for you. I think you might be right, mate. So that's the Enfield Himalayan, which is a problem. Suggestion on an SV650. I'm not going to search up an SB650 because I know what they look like. Yeah, no, that's a fair one. What I'm going to do is actually like them as I go through, so I know which ones I've processed. So little click on the like. Graham got 2 Bandit 600, one for work and one tricked up for sunny days, and an old school Kawasaki 750. Supermoto or Yamaha XSR 900 would be good. Okay, what's an XSR 900 look like? Oh, you twat. Let's try that again. XSR 900. Okay, looks a little bit bandity to me. Let's do a bit of images. 2020 XSR. Oh no, it is. Yeah. Okay. I've got one of the kids' felt tips. XSR 900 is a possibility. Looks quite high. It's, do you call that a supermoto? Yeah, potentially, but that's quite cool. Yes, I agree. Cancel that. Yeah, quite like the look of that. Thanks, Graham. I'll have a look at that. CB from Stephen H. CB500F. I'm doing it. I'll try and keep the windows open for the ones I like. Now, I saw one of these in the Triumph garage, in the Triumph shop, and I have to say I wasn't overly impressed just by the look of it more than anything else. It's a possibility, but again it just looks a little bit normal. That looks a bit cheap. And the front, to me, you can get those off eBay for not a lot. Not you know, points for suggestion, but aside from the Super 4, I'm not a big fan of Hondas, actually. Not something I thought I'd ever say, and I'm probably a bit of a heretic for saying it in the first place. But no, we'll move on. I was giggling. The Nerfed Gamer who's come up with an NTV 900, dull, boring, shafty V-twin, low maintenance. Yeah. Oh, there's a reboot there. That's interesting. Now that doesn't look too bad. But again, I mean, the bog standard ones are fucking boring. Look at that. You know, that shouldn't be grey. It should be beige. Stubby exhaust, but it still makes no difference. But that's a bit better. The reboot looks a bit better. NTV 900 reboot. I might do a bit more research on that. I quite like the difference. Dusty Biker sounds like a VTR 1200 would be a good move. I did look this up. I do like the idea, but 1200 cc's worth. I mean, that's beautiful. Look at that. But anyway, 1200 cc's. I think that's just, you know, when you're going over a litre for a commute bike, I just think it's a bit much. But it's a good looking bugger. I have to say, it is a good looking bugger. So cheers, dude. I'll skip that one because it just doesn't quite meet my weird spec. Daniel Barnes, normal oracle of everything. Any old shaft on a classic rules, i.e. GS850. I think you're right, mate, and I think that's something that I do like the look of. So something that goes through ULEZ on being old rather than new. It tweaks me buttons, but it's probably not the most practical thing in the world. But I do like the idea of old shit, which is what I'll label it as. Thanks, Dan. Crumbly Mar, how about an Aprilia 1100 or something, or the Shiver 750 Turno Giuradismo? Oh no, Dorsudaro or something like that. Well, I don't know. Let's have a look at what that is. Shiver 750. You've gone through the sake of spelling it, so I'll do that as well. Tuono. Ooh, yeah, looks a bit wannabe sports bike. Naked sports bike, designed as a naked sports bike. I'm not anti it, I have to say. Looks a bit weird, and I quite like the idea of something that's a bit weird. Beats my spec of strangeness. Sorry, I'm yawning away. It's been a shitty week, with the exception of my day off for my birthday. But yeah, no, interested. I'll have a look at that. Shiver 750. Right, moving on. What else we got? Thanks, Crumbly Mart. Bertie Budget, right after the last few minutes of video, I was looking at Kawasaki Versys. I don't like them, mate, and I know you've got one. It's a really horrible thing to say. Yeah, they're just that little bit, adventure bike with inverted commas for me. Yours looks good and sounds great, but it's not my bag. So I'll skip through that. Derek Dingwall, how about a Bandit 650 water cooled and fuel injected? Now I looked these up because I wasn't sure about a Bandit 650. I just thought Bandits were 6 or 12s, but actually I have to say I quite like the look of being a little bit. It's the GSFs. They're a little bit difficult to explain. They're not quite a Bandit to me, which pushes them into the vaguely socially acceptable grounds, but still only vaguely. It's still a Bandit. Yeah, I know it's GSF and yada yada yada, but no, thanks, mate. I'm not a fan of Bandits. They're just a bit vanilla. Sorry. MT09 Great All Rounder from Carl Simpson. Let's have a look. Now I do quite like these, but they're chuffing expensive. I purposely didn't say about my budget because I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's where you start hitting that I don't like modern bikes bit, and it makes me sound and feel really old. I like them. I just can't see myself stepping off one. I do quite like the rear shit deflector. Possible. MT09 on the list with the orange felt tip pen. I'm so professional. Right. Speed Triple 900 Hornet from James Stevenson. I like both of them, but they don't do anything for me. I like the 900 Hornet, and actually it's quite a big bike as well. I've got a big tall friend that's got one and survives quite nicely. No, it's just, there's nothing distinctive about them. MT07, the same but cheaper insurance. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm going to put MT09/07 because the 07, the insurance will be cheaper if nothing else. That's from who's come up with that? Rob Adams. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I quite like that. B1 GSLM1M 2004 Phaser 1000. He's after swapping it with the dragster, and it's one of those I'm tempted. And other guys have commented saying, well, that's carburetted. That it's not a turn off for it being carburetted at all. It was an assumption a newer bike would need it. But yeah, I'm probably not going to go for the swap, just purely and simply because the value of the if all goes well on the MOT, etc., the value of that dragster's really quite high. Somewhere around the 3 to 3.5 mark. I'm going to do it cheaper than that, but not low enough to swap for a 04 Phaser, I'm afraid. BMW K75. I fucking hate BMWs, but Daniel Barnes has suggested it, so that's BMW K75. It's this I don't like. This big fucking box of an engine. I don't know why. It's just they're brilliant engineers at BMW. Why can't they incorporate an engine onto a bike rather than have an engine then put a bike on top of it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a dick. No, don't like it, Dan. Sorry, mate. Great bike, not for me. Bust Nuts, nice name. Yamaha XSR 700. Let's have a look. XSR 700. This is a gaming keyboard. I'm not going back in time and typing. It does sound like it. Now I've seen one of these on the streets and I like them. Don't know why. Well, maybe I'm just a bit of a yummy noob. I like Yamahas. I like that. It looks like a stripped out bike. That's going on the list. Probably until I look at the price of them. 2016 as an early one, possibly. See, I quite like the look of that. It's funky enough that it's different, but not so funky that I'll feel strange as a man in his 40s stepping off the back of it. Yeah. Thanks, Bust. Like that, and I have liked it on my thingy. John Trey, tall guy with a Honda African Twin. God, no. No, that is the stereotypical horrible adventure bike for me, I'm afraid. There's too many of them. They're driving around London. You can't drive one without looking like a bellend. Yorkshire DC BMW F800. Oops. BMW F800. I think it's going to suffer the same view. Oh no, not so much actually. The engine isn't, the bike isn't built around the engine. Yeah. See, it's the whole enduro bit of having a high. I'm not sure you can even see what I'm pointing at there. There we go. That's probably a bit better. Yes, I accept. I'll use my hand. You can see it. It's this bit. It's got a mudguard. Why have you got another one up there? Pick one. I don't know. But it doesn't look ridiculous. It doesn't have the huge sticky outy engine bits. It will go on the list, but it's a low F800 ST from Yorkshire DC. Thanks, mate. I'll have a look. Belt drive, minimal maintenance. Yeah, it looks like he's got one. Well done. I actually quite like the. From there, I like it. That I'm not so sure of. Yeah, possibility. Like it. What are we on next? Bisman GSX 650F in racing colours or a Honda CB500X. Yeah, Honda CB500s. I like the 400. Not enough to get 500. It's too small for me, frankly. I look a little bit silly on them. GSX 650. Now I quite like these. Yeah, that's on the used side. Yeah, it's just a little bit been done, but I'm not anti them. So yeah, it's fallen off the list, but it's not that far off. Smaller bike, 125 machines are good on the pocket from Anthony Reddy. You are dead right, but it's a 125, and I'm not entirely sure my pride will handle it. I'm kind of at my limit with a 400, I think. And plus, if nothing else, there aren't that many big 125s. Just indulging our sponsor this evening. But, yeah, 125s are either too small for me, or they bulk up so they look bigger and then they look like they're trying to be something else. So I'm going to have to dip on that. You're probably right. I've got a New Zealander. I got a Kiwi, John Howell. He's talking about 650 on a restricted license. Oh no, it's not on this one. He's commenting on the en route. Oops, just double clicked. I've got a nice salam alaikum comment. Alaikum salam. Dave in Australia. Hey mate, think you'd enjoy a Suzuki GSR 600, 2008 or so. I remember nearly buying one of these. And I think the only reason I didn't was because the guy was fucking around with the cost. I quite like these. There's a definite retro look to them. I mean, they're not new. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Thanks, Dave. GSR 600 on the list. I quite like those. I can't remember why I didn't buy in the end. I'm sure it's because he was arsing around with price. But actually, they go for quite low money. And it's not overly flashy. It's still got... still a little bit ropey around the headlight. Just looks a little bit... It looks like I've done it. Okay. Now there's a fucking insult if ever there was one. Thank you, Dave. I double clicked you. Trying to like you. There we go. Tim Parker, tricky list. I wish hadn't suggested you ask. Yeah, it was actually Tim that said ask people. Going to suggest a Honda CB500F, but it's too vanilla for you. I think that's probably what it is, mate. I think it is. Royal Enfield Interceptor. Ooh. I can't remember what they look like. RE. Yeah, proper retro stylings. Now, I love these things. I love the Interceptors, or the Meteors as well. Very similar look. The Scramblers or Flat Trackers or, whatever. There's a definite retro vibe to them. The problem I find is they're just too wee. They're too small for me. And I just look a little bit perched on them. I had a quick sit on the Meteors. I didn't get to video it while I was looking on Tuesday. And I didn't. It felt like I was going to break it. But like it a lot. Really do like it. That is a fabulous look. Until you put a dickhead on the back and it ruins it. Right, cool. Thanks, Tim. Great suggestion, mate. But just I'm wrong for the bike rather than the bike is wrong for me. Best London commuter, however, was a KLR 250. High mirrors, blah 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 blah. From Adrian Nightingale. I don't even know what one of those is, mate. Let's have a look. What did I just say? KLR 250. Now I think a 250 pride-wise would be too small. These things get fucking stolen at the drop of a hat in London. Trackers look good, but they get stolen at the drop of a hat because all the young kids want them to run away from the police. Love the 80s colours, but they should have stayed in the 80s. So I'm going to say no to that one, mate. Thank you for your suggestion. Suzuki Bandit 600. Only because I want one. I want to see more videos on it. Thanks, Peter J. If you want to see more videos on a Bandit 600, go and check out Bad's Bikes. He's done a lot on his, and it's a fucking beautiful machine. Again, nothing against Bandits. They're just not right for me at the moment. But thanks for the suggestion. When you're really trawling for content more than anything else. And Two's Up was the last one that came in. What are we on? What did he say? Suzuki DRZ 400. Again, it's got this kind of trails bike. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing. The trails bike thing. That just means whenever you're riding it through London, you're going to have eyes in the back of your head that two twats on a scooter don't come up and kick you off it and ride away with it. Time and a place. If you're living out, if you're going to go green laning, or if you're going to do, then perfect, absolutely perfect. And because of that, being sat quite high, having high mirrors, having manoeuvrability, they'd be brilliant in town. You just look, for one, a bit of a dick, in my humble opinion, but for two, you're just going to be a target in London. People would rather punch you off it and ride away than nod at you. So yeah. So what have I got? I've been talking bollocks for about 20 minutes now, and I've got a short list of an XSR 900, an NTV 900, or that would have to be the reboot. I quite like the Shiver 500. Quite like the MT-09s and MT-07s. Frankly, it'd be an 07, I imagine, just because the insurance would be cheaper. XSR 700, quite like the look of BMW F800S. Which one was that? BMW F800S. That was the non-BMW looking BMW. Yeah, quite like those. Don't often say it, but I quite like that. Fuck. I'm going to have to look into those a little bit more. I'd written off BMW. That's why I do this. I would have written off BMWs because I don't like them. That I like. So thank you, people. That's why I'm doing this. And the GSR 600 is just a wonderful bike. Cool. I've got a shorter list. And thanks for all your suggestions. It is deeply appreciated. Like I say, I'm not a bike wanker. I don't recognise bikes by names and numbers. That's why I give them human names, albeit normally stupid ones. But I would never have found anything like this without your suggestions. So cheers, chaps. It's really down to what's available, and I'm trying not to compromise. I very nearly compromised this week with a Honda Silverwing scooter, a 600cc scooter. As a project, yeah, fair one, but as a potential ride, and I've kind of held off because I don't want to. I may end up compromising, but I'm not going to do it this quickly. I'm not in a rush, and I want to find cool things like this. Right, that'll do me for this one. Next upload is likely to be the MOT of Roo and his new wheels and his new tyres. What is it? It's an XPS 650. Yeah, so it's an XPS 650. I mean, looking at the sort of prices that people are calling in for these is really quite impressive and terrifying all in a one. But got new tyres coming in for Roo. That's spoke. I know your spokes. So I've got new tyres and an MOT going on tomorrow. That means I'm going to drop him off early and pick him up late. Hand over a load of money, but at the end of that, there should be a MOT'd, ready to ride, ready to sell bike on brand new rubber, which really shouldn't be sniffed at, and should mean that it goes pretty nicely and looks good for the market. And looking at the price of some of these things on the for general sale is really quite impressive. I think they're reaching $4,000, but we'll see. Right, thanks very much all. That'll do me for another one. Catch you later. Ta-da.